Morning, guys. I just wanted to pop on real quick and talk about vibes. Like, you know, the vibe you get from some people. It's like, you know, the forefront of how we form relationships and bonds and like who inspires us and, different things like that. Vibration and like frequency are kind of like used together, but it's actually two different things, yet they embody. Sorry, I need to update my phone. So like vibration, think of it as like the wisdom and love you embody with like your subsets of like talents and abilities. That's what your vibe is. And then like the frequency is like our body. Like think of it like a microwave or a television or like, it's like the assignment. It works like in frequency, the body. So, but when the body and the mind are like in a tune, that's when like you're in your, your highest vibing. Like, I'm effing this all up. Like when you're sure of yourself and like you're just confident in your authenticity. Like when you're vibing your highest, it's when you're living your authentic self, and a lot of us like kind of go through waves of that. I know for myself, like there's times when I'm like on top of the world and I'm so sure of myself and I'm like, yes, and then depression will set in and like because that ego, I'm too attached to like the 3D, the world. Like, I'll let myself, like I forget, like, I am responsible for my feelings, my thoughts, my everything, and as an anxious person, which if you follow attachment theory and psychology and stuff, everybody has an attachment style, whether you're secure, anxious, avoidant. I'm an anxious attachment person. I am like, I lose myself when I'm in a relationship or a friendship, like, not intentionally. I never realized that, hey, like they were attracted to me because I was my authentic self. And then once I get in that relationship, that anxious attachment and that abandonment, is triggered. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta be who they want to be. And because I'm an empath, like, which now I know that that's what I've done. I never knew it until just recently. But, and intuitive, very intuitive. Like I can sense people's like emotions and like their thoughts and sorry, like I never realized it until now, but subconsciously I was like, oh my gosh, I know what they want and need, so like I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna lose myself, I'm gonna completely abandon myself, wants, desires, needs, and I'm gonna try to be what I think that person is. They didn't ask me. I unknowingly did that, and by that I became like a shell of a person who had no wants, desires, needs, opinions, thoughts, or like, who wants to be with somebody who's nobody really, because they lose themselves in it. So, but with saying that, that's another video. So back to the whole vibration thing. Like, and for instance, like, there's some people, like, after you interact with them, like, you're so drained. Like, they're just so toxic. Like, it's because they're stuck in the ego in the head and they're low vibing, because, like, and how do you know? Like, well, you'll feel it. Like, you dread being around them, or, like, they're gossipy, or, like, they're angry, and, they're always bitching and complaining about something, oh, like nothing's their fault, like that's how somebody's low vibe. And trust me, I've gone through mine. Like, it's not linear. It's not like, oh, I Anyway, and I think for a lot of people, especially like, people that have dealt with trauma and addiction and stuff like that, and have attachment shit going on with them, that is like so interchangeable from almost minute to minute, you know? And the thing that helped me the most with that was um, meditation. And when I say meditation, like, yeah, like going and literally just sitting and being still and silent. Now, I've been a person that, like, you want me to meditate? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to meditate. And I'm like, okay, where you like, I'm talking to myself in my head, like, how am I supposed to see nothing? So quieting the mind, that's one way. And also, like art, like I've always been an artist. I've always taken art classes in high school and then, in college, like, I'm a photographer, and I just always felt this block, like I couldn't create or I couldn't do anything. Anyway, because I was so disconnected from the true self, like the authentic self. I was just angry, and just because I didn't know any better. But anyway, so back to like frequency, like think about it, like when you're cooking, like the aroma, the smell, like, it lingers, like it you smell it after. So like that's how your interactions with people are, whether they're high vibing or low vibing, um sorry if you can hear that, the lawnmower is going. But that's how it is. So when you go in meditation and you're just in the mind, like quiet the mind, even if the first 100 times you're just sitting there, like, and do it small increments, and if you want to, you can go follow my YouTube page. I like, that's my goal, is to like give people the information that I wish I had found earlier, because whenever I went through my this whole little rebirth dark night of the soul process, which going on 5 months now. I know I sound like a broken record, I keep talking about it, but like, it's literally changed my life. It was the darkest time in my life, but it's also been the most um, beautiful time. And I think that's that's what that's what you know anyway. Because most people, they have jobs, and they have to, obligations and responsibilities, and like they have to. I'm gonna say lucky enough, which really that's what it was, like whenever I was at my darkest, like I had the support of, I say support, that's a double-edged sword. I was able to, just grieve and process things like I needed to, which was an obsessively um unhealthy um scrolling. Like YouTube was like everything, and I found so many bad, not bad, but just things that didn't apply to me, because I've also learned, I operate from the heart space. Like that's literally, that's just how I've been. Like and I always thought that that was a bad thing. That was like my weakness, was because I always thought everybody was good, um, every, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought that everybody's brain operated like mine, and they operate from their heart space, and not everybody does, and that's okay, because we can get there, like if you want, like if you're happy, then this video isn't for you, but if you're finding your place, that like you want things to change in your life, you just don't know how the F to do it. Trust me, I've watched hundreds of thousands probably of hours. No, I think that's impossible. I'm horrible at math. It took me 15 years to get my bachelor's degree, because I couldn't pass the math. Remedial math. Anyway, Okay, focus, Brandy. My point is I've done all the work for you. And while I wish I was put together and organized and consistent and motivated enough to like make all those videos myself, like I figured I can do these little short videos where I film on my phone, and it's, it's not perfect, it's crappy, it's shitty, but what I can do is like give you my take from it, and then post the original sources, the videos, so that way you can go and watch like the people who are well put together. So that way you're not wasting your time watching the wrong videos. Not necessarily the wrong ones, but the ones that like don't give you information that are directly from a heart space where you're like operating with compassion and stuff like that. So that's my goal, is to um, be able to direct people on different information, and like from people that are coming from a caring and high vibing, that they're coming from the heart. So that's my goal, is to, um, yeah, give you that information so you can go and make your own, you know, you can create your own process. You can pick and choose. That's one thing I've learned. Like, it was confusing in the beginning, is like, because you were so used to adopting, like, okay, attachment theory, we're going to listen to attachment theory, that's all. But then you have like a person like me who's an empath and an intuitive, and you operate from a different space, but that's okay. You can pick and choose what you want. And actually, like, that's actually a friend of mine, Brady. He told me this once because I was having a hard time um whenever I was like in recovery, like um going to at least one meeting a day, and sometimes three. um like, in the rooms, I was like, man, like I was so offended one day because like I knew God was like, I made these stickers to cover up your higher power as you know them with like God, because like it triggered me to like not say God and higher power. And I'm like, and I was speaking about it one day in a meeting, and I'm like, like I've, with my relationship with God, like I feel like I should be doing more. Like, how am I supposed to like, you know, abide by this program that says, we, we have to admit that we're weak and we can't control, our addictions, but like we give it to our higher power. Like, and you don't want me to follow his word, like in the Bible, like, and then some lady told me, she's like, oh, sweetie, you don't need that Bible. You just need this blue book, which the blue book is like the AA book. And I'm like, I was so offended, and like I was triggered, and I wasn't disrespectful, but like I kind of like barked at an older lady who like has been in recovery longer than I've been born. And that was not an accurate display of who I am. Like, it just triggered me, and I didn't understand at that time, but it did. So then I started going to the church recovery place and program, and there were things that I liked, and I but but a friend of mine, he said, he's like, we don't have to agree with everything, he's like, but there's something there for us. We take what is meant for us and what resonates with us, and then we just leave the rest behind, um and you're still filling your cup, because not everybody has the same relationship with God as you do or we do, but they need this. It's keeping them sober, and it made so much sense, like, you know what I mean? And that's how I've learned, like, I don't have to be all in or not at all. Like, I have the right to pick and choose what parts of what theories or attachment, what theories or what, you know, thought processes I decide to adopt as my own. And it's right because it's works for me. As long as it's making me, a better person, then it works. That's all that matters. Okay. Anyway, so I'm getting way off topic here. But I guess my point is like whenever you're in lower vibing, when you're not living like to your authentic self and your true self, that's when like illness and sickness and like depression and addiction and all these things like gossip and hate and jealousy and all these things start to set in. So like meditation has been a huge thing. So I have a playlist of like guided meditations that like really really helped me, and some of them are like 10 minutes and some of them are like 40 minutes and some are a few hours and some you put in overnight. Also like making art again, which at the end of this I'm gonna show you a little art project that really really helps me like to raise my vibration. It's a really really shit. I'm gonna have to find a better method for recording. Anyway, it's using the Fibonacci spiral, which it has like specific like I think it's like the pi 3.16, or I could be wrong. Anyway, maybe not. Anyway, it had like it's a spiral that symbolizes the expansion, and like you use it to you think of something that makes you happy, and you use that, and like you use breathing, and whenever on the inhale and like on the exhale, like as you're expanding, like you're painting the spiral. But it doesn't have to be like the perfect. Mine isn't. I just did it in my sketchbook, which I took my old sketchbook from college, and I started, painting over it and using it as my journal and my art therapy thing, which has been so helpful. But like, you're intentionally, doing these things, and like it helps you expand on your joy. You think about something that makes you happy. Like for me, like it's always my granddaughter. Like she's just like, you cannot think about her and not just, oh my, like, look, I'm tearing up right now. She's just like this little ball of sunshine. She's just, she's like pure happiness, like at its purest. Whew. Anyway, so, or like remembering the sound of Emmett's feet pitter pattering, whenever he was younger, running up and down the hallway, or, in Trey's old bedroom, like I have all his like little masking tape, washi tape with the year and the height he was until he was 6 something, like those are the things that give me joy. And like, so thinking about that when you're doing the artwork and expanding it, and like it really helps you raise your vibration. So yeah, thank you.